I'd like to know about the cover of your forthcoming album. I'd like to know about the meaning of the photograph with you and the wearing a Triumph T-shirt.
What would you want to know about it?
Well, I'd like to know that that's an equivalent photograph. It means something. It's got a philosophy in it. And I'd like to know visually what it represents to you, because you're a part of that.
I haven't really looked at it that much.
I've thought about it a great deal.
It was just taken one day when I was sitting on the steps, you know. I don't really remember very too much about it.
Well, what about the motorcycle as an image in your songwriting? You seem to like that.
Oh, we all like motorcycles to some degree.
I do.
Do you think of yourself primarily as a singer or as a poet?
Oh, I think of myself more as a song and dance man, you know.
The criticism that you've received for more or less leaving folk music for folk rock hasn't seemed to bother you very much. Do you think you'll stick with folk rock, or are you going on into more writing?
I don't play folk rock.
What would you call your music?
I would call it, I like to think of it more in terms of vision music. It's mathematical music.
Would you say that the words were more important than the music?
The words are just as important as the music. There would be no music without the words.
Do you sit down just to write a song, or do you just write it on inspiration?
I more or less write it on a lot of things.
What poets do you dig?
Oh, Rambo, I guess, W.C. Fields. The family, you know, the trapeze family in the circus?
In a lot of your songs, you're hard on a lot of people. Like in Like a Rolling Stone, you're pretty hard on the girl. And in Positively Fostered, you're pretty hard on the supposed friend. Are you hard on them because you want to torment them, or because you want to change their lives and make them know themselves?
I want to needle them.
In a recent Broadside interview, Phil Oakes said you should do films. Do you have any plans to do this?
No, I don't. I do have plans to make a film, but not because anybody said I should do them.
Can you tell us what it'll be about?
It'll be just another song. Oh, that's pretty. Well, thank you very much. Was that taken right here with the Polaroid? Good God, I must leave right away.
What do you think of people that analyze your songs? Do they usually end up with the same meaning that you wrote? Or?
I welcome them with open arms.
Josh Dunson, in his new book, Freedom in the Air, implies that you have sold out to commercial interests and the topical song movement. Do you have any comments here?
Well, no comments, no arguments, no, I certainly don't feel guilty.
If you were going to sell out to a commercial interest, which one would you choose?
Bob?
Ladies' garments. Colors? What do I think of Donovan? Colors?
Yeah. Do you think he's a good poet of love ballads?
No. He's a nice guy, though.
I'm shattered.
Huh?
I'm shattered.
Oh, you needn't be.
Mr. Dillon, you called yourself a completely disconnected person. Would you like to
No,
elaborate?
I didn't call myself that. They should have drove those words in my mouth. I saw that in the paper.
How would you describe yourself? What is it that you have you analyzed as to why you appeal to people?
I certainly haven't. No.
Mr. Dillon, I know you dislike labels, and probably rightly so, but for those of us who are well over 30, could you label yourself and perhaps tell us what your role is?
Well, sort of label myself as well under 30. And my role is to, to just stay here as long as I can.
Phil Oakes wrote something in a recent Broadside magazine to the effect that you have twisted so many people's wigs that he feels that it becomes increasingly dangerous for you to perform in public before an audience.
Well, that's the way it goes, I can't apologize, certainly.
You're considered by many people to be symbolic of the protest movement in the country, for the young people. Are you going to participate in the Vietnam Day Committee demonstration in front of the Fairmont Hotel tonight?
I'll be busy tonight.
You planning any demonstrations?
Well, we thought of one. We thought of one. I don't know if it could be organized in time.
Could you describe it?
Well, it was a demonstration where I'd make up the cards. They have a group of protesters here, perhaps carrying cards with pictures of Jack of Diamonds is on them, an Ace of Spades on them, pictures of mules, maybe words, and maybe about 30,000 of these things printed up, and just picket. Carry the signs and picket.
What words?
In front of the post office. What?
What words?
Oh, words. Camera. Microphone. Loose. Just words.
Oh, do you consider yourself a politician?
Do I consider myself a politician? Well, I guess so. I have my own party, though.
Have a name?
No, there's no presidents in the party. There's no presidents or vice presidents or secretaries or anything like that, so it makes it kind of hard to get in.
Is there any right wing or left wing to that party?
No, it's more or less in the center. Kind of on the uppity scale.
Anyone else in your party?
Anyone else in this party? No, most of us don't even know each other, It's hard to tell who's in it, who's not in it.
Do you recognize them when you see them?
White House.
Oh, you can recognize the people when you see them.
You said, I don't think things can turn out. I've accepted it. It's a sadness.
No,
Sort of
no,
like
no,
having
no.
no
No, it's
hopes.
not. I don't think things can turn out. I don't think anything you plan ever turns out the way you plan it. That's all.
Is this your philosophy?
No. No. Doesn't mean anything.
Mr. Dillon, when will you know that it's time to get out of the music field and into another field?
When I get very dragged.
When you stop making money?
No, when my teeth get better. Or, God, just when something makes a drastic, when I start to itch, when something just goes to a terrifying turn. And I know it's got nothing to do with anything. And it's time to leave.
But what happens if they have to cut a song in half, like Subterranean Homesick Blues for
They
the single?
didn't have to cut that in half.
Oh, but they didn't have to, but they did.
No, they didn't. No. You're
The
talking
same.
about Like a Rolling Stone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they cut it in half for the disc jockeys.
Dylan, how would you define folk music?
How did I define
How would you
music?
define folk music?
As a constitutional replay of mass production.
Do you call your songs folk songs?
No, no.
Are protest songs folk songs?
I guess if they're a constitutional replay of mass production.
Do you prefer songs with a subtle or obvious message?
With a what?
A subtle or obvious message?
I don't really prefer those kind of songs at all. A message, you mean like, what song with a message?
Well, like Eve of Destruction and things like that.
Do I prefer that to what?
I don't know, but your songs are supposed to have a subtle message.
Subtle message?
Well, they're supposed to.
Where'd you hear that?
In a movie magazine.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Are your songs ever about real people, like, occasional poetry?
Sure they are. They're all about real people.
Particular one?
Particular people? Sure. I'm sure you've seen all the people in my songs at one time or another.
Who's Mr. Jones?
Mr. Jones, I'm not going to tell you his first name. I get sued.
What does he do for a living?
He's a pin boy.
Can you explain your attraction as a performer and a writer?
Attraction to what?
Your attraction. Your popularity, your mass popularity.
No. I really have no idea. That's the truth. I always tell the truth. That is the truth.
What are your own personal hopes for the future, and what do you hope to change in the world?
Oh, my hopes for the future, to be honest, I don't have any hopes for the future, and I just hope to have enough boots to be able to change them. That's all, really. It doesn't boil down to anything more than that. If it did, I would certainly tell you.
What do you think of a question and answer session of this type with you as the principal
Well,
subject?
I think we all have different. I think I dropped an ash on myself somewhere. Oh, well, you'll see in a minute here what happens. I'm not going to say anything about it though. What was the question?
What are you thinking about right now?
Thinking about this ash.
Right before that.
Huh? This ash is creeping up on me somewhere. I've lost touch with myself, so I can't tell where exactly it is.
Was that an inadvertent evading of the question?
No,
about
I didn't.
What you feel about meetings of this kind, question and answer sessions?
Oh no,
where you
no.
are the
I
subject?
just know in my own mind that
You
we
think
all
they're silly?
have a different idea of all the words we're using. So I don't really have too much. Really can't take it too seriously because we're reading. Like if I say the word house, like we're both going to see a different house. If I just say the word, right? So we're using all these other words, like mass production and moving magazine. We all have a different idea of these words too. So I don't really know what we're saying here.
Why do you bother right?
No, it's not pointless. If you want to do it, and you're there, it's not pointless. No, it doesn't hurt me any.
You just said it. Is there anything in addition to your songs that you want to say to people?
Good luck.
You don't say that in your songs.
Oh yes, I do. Every song tails off with good luck. I hope you make it.
What do you bother to write the poetry for if we all get different images? And we don't know what you're talking about
Because I've got
anyway?
nothing else to do, man.
Have you found that the texts of the interviews with you, which have been published, are accurate to the actual conversations?
No, that's another reason for I don't really give press interviews or anything because, even if you do something, there are a lot of people here so they know what's going on, but like if you just do it with one guy or a few guys, they just take it all out of context, They just take it, split it up in the middle or just take what they want to use and they ask you a question and you answer it, and then it comes out in print that they just substitute another question for your answer. That makes you just sound like the way it's not really truthful, to do that kind of thing. So I just don't do it.
For most of this dialogue or monologue, you have been inaudible, and now when you're touched personally by the misquotation, your voice rises, and we can hear you.
Yeah, well, I just realized that maybe the people in the back there can't hear me, that's all.
I was going to ask you whether in your songs you sing out.
Yes, I do.
And whether in your conversation
Well, the songs are what I do.
cultivate-
You see, the songs, though, is what I do.
Yeah.
Is write the songs and sing them, and perform them. That's what I do. The performing part of it could end, but like I'm going to be writing these songs and singing them on records for, I see no end right now. That's what I do. Anything else just interferes with it. I mean, anything else trying to get on top of it, making something out of it, which it isn't, it just brings me down. And it's just makes it seem all very cheap.
Well, it made me feel like you were almost doing a kind of penance of silence here.
No, no.
For the first
I'm not one of
part,
those
no?
kind of people at
You
all.
don't need silence.
No, no silence. It's always silent where I am.
Have you ever played with people with dance?
No. It's not that kind of music. Well, what can I say? You must know more about the music than I do. How long have you been playing it?
Why do you think they're so popular?
I don't know. I'm not a reporter, a newsman or anything. I'm not even a philosopher. I have no idea. I would think other people would know, but I don't think I know. You know, when you get too many people talking about the same thing, it tends to clutter up things, so I just... Everybody asks me that, so I realize they must be talking about it, so I would rather stay out of it and make it easy for them. And when they get the answer, I hope they tell me.
Mr. Dillon, you seem very reluctant to talk about the fact that you're a popular entertainer, and you're a most popular entertainer.
Well, what do you want me to say?
Well, I don't understand why you
Well, what do you want me to say?
reluctant
Do you want to say what do you want me to say about it?
Well, you seem almost embarrassed to admit that you're to talk about.
Well,
the
I'm not
fact that you're
embarrassed. I
extremely
mean, you know, what do you want exactly me to say? You want me to jump up and say hallelujah and crash the cameras and do something weird? Tell me. I'll go along with you. If I can't go along with you, I'll find somebody to go along with you.
No, but I find it, you really have no idea as to why you, or no thoughts on why you're popular. That's what interests me on it.
I just haven't really struggled for that. I don't, it happened, you know? It happened like anything else happens. Just a happening. You don't figure out happenings. You dig happenings, so I'm not going to talk about it.
What you said a minute ago about not really being concerned and not really knowing why you are in the midst of this popularity, that's in direct opposition to what most people who reach this level of popularity say, and I am popular because they feel with me.
A lot of people start out and they try to be stars. I would imagine, like, however they have to be stars. I mean, I know a lot of those people, you know, and they start out and they go into show business for many, many reasons to be seen, you know. I started out, you know, like had nothing to do with it when I started. I started from New York City, you know, and there just wasn't any of that around. It just happened, you know. So
don't misunderstand me. I agree with your right not to have to care. My point is that it would be somehow somewhat disappointing to the many people who think that you feel towards them the way they feel towards you, and that's the reason for your popularity. That's what they think.
Well, I don't want to disappoint anybody. I mean, tell me what I should say here.
Good, I'm with you.
Huh?
Fine.
You know, I'll certainly go along with anything, but it's I really don't have much of an idea.
Do you care about what you're saying?
How can I answer that if you got the nerve to ask me?
Well, then you
I mean, you got a lot of nerve asking me a question like that.
I have to ask
Do you ask the Beatles that?
I have to ask you that because you have the nerve to question whether I care.
I'm not questioning you because I don't expect any answer from you.
How many people who labor in the same musical vineyard in which you toil, how many are protest singers? That is, people who use their music and use the songs to protest the social state in which we live today, the matter of war, the matter of crime, or whatever it might be.
How many?
Yes. Are there many who do?
Yeah, well, I think there's about 136.
You say about 136? Or do you mean exactly 136?
It's either 136 or 142.
People, you read all articles about chicks, sullen and quiet and all those type of things.
Once in a while.
What makes you laugh then?
Something funny.
Right, you got me there.
What do you hope the future promises for Bob Dylan, and equally, what do you think it promises for Robert Zimmerman?
Well, this is it. This is the future.
This is today. What about tomorrow?
This is tomorrow, too.
Are you very
We're standing in it.
Do you think you've passed the apex of your career?
Excuse me?
Do you think you've passed the apex of your career?
What career? I've never had a career.
Can you just tell us this business, Bob, again about what other people seem to want to do with you and what you feel
It's
about
not me, it's everybody, you know? Everyone is a puppet master. Everyone likes to control puppets and pull their strings, but without saying, like, I am nobody's puppet, nobody pulls my strings.
But is that something that bothers you ever? I mean, the idea that because you're very famous, someone who thinks they love you might want to kill you?
Well, that's always the case, isn't it? I mean, isn't that way it always happens? Aren't you usually killed by a person who loves you the most?
I mean, that would account for why...
Well, that accounts for why a lot of entertainers do what they do. Because they want the love of another group of people, you know? And I don't do it for love. I do it because I can do it and I think I'm good at it, you know? That's all I do it for.
Does that explain why the other evening at the sort of mock concert, you didn't sort of say anything to the audience? You know, people in the press, they said, well, people all turned up to this thing, and why didn't Dylan just say hello?
What was I supposed to say hello for? It got nothing to do with me. I'm there making a movie. I'm not there in a crowd. What, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. That's what they said. You know,
well, why didn't you tell them?
Oh, no, I mean, I just read it in the paper, and that made me wonder. I thought, well, why didn't you just say hello? I would. I'd feel the pressure. I'd feel the pressure.
No matter what you say, it's not enough, is it? You know, if I could have gone, I'd say, hello, everybody. How you doing out there? And, you know, they say, play a song, bro. Play a song. I say, man, I don't feel like it right now. And that would be in the press. Well, Dylan was there. You know, he was grumpy. He was moody. He was a recluse. He came out for a few minutes and he said hello to the audience, and he went back into his trailer or something, into the seclusion of his own little kingdom, which is what, you know, people would say.
But it's always a losing situation.
What? Not for me, because I don't play that game. A lot of people go after fame and money. But they're really after money. They don't really want the fame, you know? Because the fame is the, you know, to walk down the street or to go somewhere and have people. It's like when you look through a window. Say you're passing a little pub or a little inn, and you look through the window and you see all the people eating and talking and carrying on. You can watch outside the window, and you can see them all be very real with each other, as real as they're going to be. Because when you walk into the room, it's over. You won't see them being real anymore.
Not me.
No. Me, and even if you're in the room, you'll notice that things have changed. Things have changed just because a person walks in the room who can be a focus point for everybody.
You're very generous towards people, autograph hunters, aren't you? I mean, I noticed that particularly at Bristol. I mean, you had to sign about 60, you know. I mean, you could choose not to do that.
Well, sometimes it's easier to be polite than it is to be rude. Sometimes the other way around.
So people would actually come to the house?
Mm-hmm.
And do what?
Want to discuss things with me, politics and philosophy and organic farming and things, you know.
What did you know about organic farming?
Nothing. Not a thing.
As you probably know, Rolling Stone magazine just named your song, Like a Rolling Stone, the #1 song of all time. 12 of your songs are in their list of the top 500. That must be good to have as part of your legacy.
Oh, maybe this week, but you know, on the lists, they change names and, you know, quite frequently, really. I don't really pay much attention to that.
But it's a pat on the back, huh?
This week it is. But, you know, who's to say how long that's gonna last?